So I was introduced to Nation of Coaches simply through a mutual colleague of mine. Former university I used to coach at. He was on the men's side. He retired a couple years ago, and my head coach and I transitioned to Coastal Carolina. We get there, he reaches out and he's like, hey, we've got this really cool ministry that's kind of been ministering for men for a long time. We're starting up a women's portion of the ministry, and I really think you would really enjoy it just based on your faith and where you're at with the Lord and things like that, and what you like to do with your team and past programs. And he was like, hey, would you be interested in potentially speaking with one of our character coaches? Me being a person, I'm like, I'm all for it. Let's go, let's rock. And so he introduces me to a gentleman who basically comes in, and his name was Carl, and he did an awesome job. He was just very organic. He always asked us how the weather was. I just always loved it. Every time we met, it was like, how's the weather? And that was kind of his way of gauging of kind of where we were at as a coaching staff. Being a new staff at Coastal, it was very intricate, or interesting setup, because it was a new staff, a new place, people that we hadn't necessarily worked with. And I think he did a really good job in a very natural way of kind of bringing us together, but more importantly through the scriptures. It was a unique way for us to be able to coach and interact with each other outside just the natural realm of just basketball. He didn't make it very intrusive or anything, but just a situation where we felt comfortable discussing our faith, considering we were all in different places in our faith. From there, I was also introduced to Kelly, who was actually over the women's ministry. She was actually the one that kind of put everything in place behind the scenes with our character coach, Carl. Kelly was super awesome personally, just for me. I think what Kelly really offered for me was just a woman who had kind of walked a mile in my shoes as being a former collegiate coach. I think women in coaching is just a completely different perspective. There's a lot of resources and a lot of ministries that are out there for men, but there's not a lot of ministries that minister specifically for women. I think women have an interesting role, because not only do we have the same demands as men in coaching as far as the time, commitment, the desire to win, the competitiveness, running a team, and all those aspects, but we also have the full responsibility of being mom, wife, and all the other responsibilities that go along with that. There's not a lot of people that get that. There's a double-edged sword in the sense of where you're being pulled from wanting to be at home with the kids and be at home with your husband and do all of those great things, but then there's also a responsibility to do your job on the court day in and day out. Where Kelly was really awesome is she was a listening ear. As I kind of journeyed throughout this season and also transitioning from Division I to Division II, for me, truthfully, it was a challenge. Just the time constraints that was placed on me during that time. And she was really instrumental in connecting me with other women in the coaching profession who had already been there, and then some women who were already there. That, in a nutshell, just really kind of changed my world, as I transitioned to Coastal Carolina. From that, it's been really awesome. Just being able to connect with those individuals and just having people at a dial that I can reach and pick up my phone and give them a call and just kind of get advice if needed has been really helpful. And so for me, Nation of Coaches, even though it's a new ministry from a women's perspective, I'm really excited about the growth that potentially lies within this women's ministry. I think there's so many more women who need to be connected with a ministry that's specifically for women within collegiate basketball coaching. It's a unique niche. There's a lot of other ministries out there that do great things, but I think there's so often that there's a space in which women are forgotten. We're just supposed to be super mom, super coach, super everything. And so I'm really encouraged. I'm really encouraged by what I've seen thus far through Nation of Coaches. I'm excited to see how this ministry grows. I know I'm going to be one of the bigger advocates of telling, hey, ladies, y'all got to get out here. Get your husbands out here. Let's get our husbands connected. Let's get connected, and let's see how we can win life and do life together. And so, as I look at Nation of Coaches, just really excited about where it's at, where it's going in its short time, and just really can't wait to see, what it does.